Tyreek Hill, for the first time, has addressed the comments made. And I'm still holding my microphone. What is up, fans? Saturday night video for you guys. Got a second to come downstairs to the studio, make a video talking about Tyreek Hill making his comments about what happened, what he had to say, and all that shazam. And yes, I'm still holding my mic, my new mic stand. I'll be here tomorrow for the live stream. I will be live at 6:30. I have decided I'm going to do the Bills-Chiefs game. I can't not do the Bills-Chiefs game, regardless of my mentality and my superstition, any of that stuff. I have to do that one. Hopefully it goes the way I hope it does, which is that both teams don't win and neither one of them go to the Super Bowl and they just crown an NFC team Super Bowl champions. Obviously, that's not how it's going to go. But I will be live tomorrow, so hopefully I see you guys there. So Tyreek Hill finally came out and addressed what he had to say, and we're going to go over it. So Barry Jackson kind of breaks it down, and thank you so much to him so I can poorly read this to you and give you my thoughts. For the first time since suggesting he wants to leave the Dolphins, receiver Tyreek Hill expanded on those comments during a social media session on Saturday. I think he was on his TikTok or his Twitch. He was on his Twitch. While Hill did not specifically say or strongly suggest that he wants to remain in Miami, he did say on Twitch video, what y'all had heard at the end of the season was frustration. I've been winning my whole life. I don't understand, which we get. And when I sat down and talked with Omar Kelly, if you go back and watch that video, it was a great conversation. It was an hour long. You know, me and Omar, when we get together, we have great conversations. He talked about how the fact that, and I'm not defending Tyreek because I will get into more about Tyreek, but I'm just telling you what happened. Tyreek didn't want to come out. Tyreek did not want to come out. He didn't want to talk to the media. He didn't want to address the media. And the media was like, no, that's fine. We'll go. Like Omar literally was like him, Chris Perkins, Barry Jackson, all of them were like, all right, that's cool. We'll go. And they're like, no, we'll bring Tyreek out. He's obligated to talk to you guys. So he got brought out. And that's what happened. Tyreek continues by saying, I bust my butt every day, so I deserve to feel like that. I deserve to have some kind of opinion. And he said some type of expletive. You all just want me to say, get them next year. F that. I get that. I totally get that. Playing with the wrist injury, even though a video did come out of him playing basketball not too long after that also made us go, huh? I get that. Wholeheartedly get that. I get the frustration. I get him doing all the stuff he did throughout the season and wanting to win. I get it. I get him not being targeted enough. I get him not getting the ball enough. We all get that. We have to put some pressure on those blanks. You all have to fix that blank, bruh. Come on. And some blank dogs in this blank. I compete. I love to compete. So essentially he's saying, put some dogs on this team. Put some guys that are hard-nosed, hard-fighting people on this team. He's frustrated. He's a winner. He comes from the Kansas City Chiefs where he's winning, and he comes to the Miami Dolphins who aren't known to be winners. We haven't been winners for a very long time. You could sit here and say, hey, our record, we had a winning record for how many years? Yes, cool. That's fantastic. But we haven't won. So Hill removed himself from the Dolphins-Jets finale for reasons apparently unrelated to any injury and said afterwards, there's a lot of things I need to reassess about my career. Just see what I need to do to continue to get better as a player so I continue to reach that 1,000-yard mark. It stinks missing quarterback one. I've got to do what's best for me and my family, yada, yada. We all know what he said there. It was great playing here, yada, yada. We all know what he has to say there. So again, it's the frustration. It's the end of the game. It's not making the playoffs. It's not breaking 1,000 yards. It's not being the guy who he was in 2023, where he was the number one player in the NFL and blah, 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 blah. We get it. Agent Drew Rosenhaus previously said that Hill remains committed to the Dolphins. General manager Chris Greer said 2 days after the season that Hill did not request a trade in his postseason meeting. Hill, who had led the league in receiving in 2023, slipped to 30th this season season with 959 yards. His receptions dropped from 119 to 81. His targets fell from 171 to 123, while his touchdown catches slipped from 13 to 6. Though Hill failed to come down with a few contested catches, his diminished production was largely a function of the teams playing two deep safeties to take away deep shots and playing a function of Tua missing 6 games. 1,000,000%. I get hating Tua. I get the frustration with Tua. I get, I don't get the overhate, but I get the frustration, right? But you have to take a step back and realize a full healthy season of Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill had the best year of his career, was voted the #1 player in the NFL. And when he misses 6 games, there's a huge drop off for Tyreek Hill. And also the teams now were like, you're not going to beat us deep. We're going to play cover 3, cover 2. We're going to not let you beat us deep. But see, I knew it was going to happen once. Not let us beat you deep. Hill also played through a wrist injury sustained in the preseason practice. Rosenhaus said that multiple doctors suggested months ago that he undergo surgery on the wrist. Hill said in December that he didn't decide about surgery, but was leaning against it at the time. Hill said Friday on social media that he will be back stronger and faster. Last August, Hill restructured his contract worth $90 million over 3 years, with $65 million of it guaranteed. Hill's guaranteed $27.6 million this upcoming season. If the Dolphins trade him, Miami will carry $28.3 million dead money cap if he is traded before June 1st, and $12.7 million dead money 2025 if it's after June 1st. On Friday, the Dolphins hired Robert Prince. And again, we'll look at that real quick. We'll look at his contract. But I get where he's coming from with his frustration, but you also got to realize that it's Tyreek Hill, right? No one had a problem with Tyreek Hill and his antics and his mentality and all that stuff when we were killing it with him. And for 2 consecutive seasons, he was dangerous and, was getting open, was catching long touchdowns, was doing all these things. No one cared. But now we have a bad season and we're struggling bus city, and everyone is now getting on him when none of this stuff is new with Tyreek. Tyreek did this in Kansas City and he's now doing it in Miami. So we can't all sit here and, clutch our pearls at Tyreek Hill saying what he's saying, because this is Tyreek Hill. This is the guy who he is. Now, I've brought it up and I've talked about it, and I've said if he wants out, goodbye. I'm not going to sit here and take back my words, but I'm also not going to sit here and say I'm shocked, because it's Tyreek Hill. That's like saying you're shocked by what Chad Johnson said and changing his name to Chad Ochocinco back when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals. That's just who they are. Or being shocked of Terrell Owens doing push-ups in his driveway with reporters around him. That's just who these receivers are. Or Randy Moss pulling his pants down and smacking his butt on the side of a goalpost. That's these receivers. So to sit here and be like, oh my goodness, don't. Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. Will we be better with Tyreek Hill on the team this upcoming season? Yes, 1,000%. He is still really good and he is still really dynamic. But that being said, if we look at his contract, again, if the Dolphins decide they want to trade him, it's going to be we'll only save $400,000. If they decide they want to trade him after June 1st, say the draft comes and goes, the Dolphins found out a way to get a good receiver, wherever, and they can save $15.9 million, and there's some other money coming with a post June 1st cut, then they can do that as well. Or say another team is able to get a player they didn't think, and their high-priced player, it becomes available, and we could do a trade Z's. Where, say, I'm going to throw the name out there, but I'm not going to say it's him. You know what? I'll say Kittle, right? Say the 49ers somehow grab a tight end and they're like, look, we're going to move on from Kittle. He's getting up there in age, yada, yada. And the Dolphins were like, we'll trade you Hill for Kittle. And you just send us like a 4th. How about that? Then we save cap space. But looking at this first one up here, if the Dolphins were to trade him, I would, again, to me, as of right now, you trade Tyreek Hill, you're getting a 2nd. You're not getting a 1st for Tyreek Hill. You got his contract, and he's not 2 years younger, 3 years younger when we first got him. So you're going to get a 2nd. But I would say to said team, and I've said this before, take half of that dead cap and we'll make it a 3rd, right? Give us a 3rd, but take on $14 million of that dead cap. And then all of a sudden, we would get a lesser draft pick, but we would save cap space. But overall, looking at the whole Tyreek Hill situation, one, if he's on the team in 2025, I'm not going to be upset. He's a good player. He's a dynamic player. I'm still adding another receiver that's over 6 foot, possibly 2, to help with that. Will they do that? How will they do that with the cap space? We'll talk about that. 2, if he's traded, I'm not going to be upset as long as they get something for him. You know, obviously he's a Hall of Famer, going to be a Hall of Famer. He still is a really good wide receiver. And 3, Mike McDaniel, if Tyreek Hill is on the team in 2025, you need to figure out a way to get him the ball. Same thing with how you need to figure out a way to get Jalen Waddle the ball. A lot of people want to put the blame for the lack of this and that on the quarterback, when if you take a step back and kind of just put any other quarterback in this situation, and you look at the route trees and you look at the concepts and you look at the consistent calls of screens, because Mike McDaniel's like, they're running a too high safety, let's throw a screen. They're running this, let's throw a screen. You need to be the McGenius you are and build these route combinations and focus on moving those protections, whether have, Jalen Waddle run a deep post. On the opposite side, you have Jonnu Smith running a go route up the seam. Then you have Tyreek Hill running a deep in. Like, why do I pull this out of my butt? Now, obviously, it might not work, but these different concepts where you pull those 2 deep safeties even deeper or to a side and get Tyreek the ball. But you saw it against the Jaguars, where Tyreek was still double teamed. Tua still got him the ball. He turned up the field for a deep touchdown that helped us win the game, as well as the fumble by Javon Holland. It's a combination of things. 1, Tua has to have enough time to get him the ball. 2, Tua has to get him the ball. 3, the routes need to be there. 4, Tyreek has to catch the ball. There's a tier list of things that need to happen. But overall, all we can think about right now, because football is not going to be played for the Dolphins until August, so far, 8 months away, got to figure this out. Is he here? Is he not here? Plain and simple. Because if he's here this year, I got a video about what will happen next year. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. The fact for this weekend is the Dolphins enter the 2024 calendar year with the 20 victories and 42 postseason games in their history. So they are under 500 in postseason games. It's because for the past 24 years, we've not won a playoff game. That's going to take a big old chunk out of it. But comment below. I will see you guys tomorrow, 6:30. Hopefully, you guys come hang out, have some fun. But like usual, stay classy. Hit that like button. Some of you guys were like, hey, you should tell them to hit the like button. I think that'll help out your algorithm. If you like what I have to say, you like the video, like me holding the mic, hit the like button. But like usual, stay classy and fed up. Fins up, not fed up. I'm going to go lay down.